One of the main essence of the Calibishie life that I remember quite vividly was bird hunting. Maybe we could even call it bird harvesting. When almost every boy and girl, without fail, would go out to catch birds on almost a daily basis. We would, of course, make our pliant or traps. And back in those days, I'm not too sure who invented the idea of the bird trap, but we all made bird traps. Some made better traps than others. And there are occasions where you stoop over to set your trap, the trap unset and burst your nose and, injure you in the process, because the trap had to be made in such a way with a carbouillant. You bend a wood, most times go over wood, a stick, and when you set that trap, if you touch that trigger where the bird is supposed to walk on, and that unsets, well, it's either your hand catching the carbouillant or your nose burst or something. But you have to be very careful about setting your traps. Some of us would set our traps on pieces of sticks or wood. So you split the wood in the middle, like that's a wood, you split it in the middle, you stick the trap in it firmly enough, so when the bird jumps on the trap, pop, 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 comes down the little lane, then it has to jump on the pointer, the wood. And when it jumps on that pointer, the carbouillant is around the pointer, it catches it. Because there was, at the end of that wood, of the trap, there would have been like a ripe banana. We prick it up very nicely so the bird, comes to feed, and it runs the way, jumps on the trap, and it comes down. And every time you catch a bird, you go to the trap, you take it out from the rope, from the carbouillant, you put it in your little quay, like you tie it on some rope that you have on your person, and the birds keep flying, they're alive still, but you catch it, and then you set your trap again, and then another bird comes in. So we would catch like maybe 50, 60, 100 birds, sometimes on any one given day. And we would walk down proudly for 50 birds, still flying around. Sometimes there would be Sikiye, Moisan, Gobek, Guive on occasions. You hardly ever catch a guive in a pliant, but sometimes you do. And there were different types of guive. There were the guive tomblade, and there were the real, and guive were very nice meat. They taste very good on the plate. Also, you thought we were catching the birds just to put in a cage? No, man, that was food. That was food. That's how we kind of had to survive, catching birds. Pipirit never came on traps, and nobody wanted pipirit anyway, because pipirit always had this infestation in the intestines. So we didn't want pipirit. But we used to shoot them from the line, from the high power lines, before catapult. That was another means again of catching birds, through catapult, and I'll tell you about that probably on the next episode. But let me finish this episode by telling you about the traps. So these were the ordinary traps we would make, and I can make a trap right now. I can see it in my head. I'm not sure whether the boys in the village still do make traps, but that was a major tradition. We all had traps, and different variations of traps too, different sizes, and it's not just making the trap, it's how you put the trap in the area to attract the birds. And birds just follow that natural routine, jump on the trap. Sometimes the trap is not sturdy, and when the bird jumps on it, it falls aside, and the birds fly up away. And then we have to go and fix the trap again. It was just an art to behold, to catch our birds, and then to bring the birds home, and mommy or grandma or uncle or pa, when whoever is waiting, to just, we slaughter our little birds, and we clean it nicely, put that in salt and so on, and then we have lunch. Very healthy meat. So that was part one, I suspect of the birds. There might be a part 2, and probably a part 3 too, because we catch doves as well. Tutwell. And the traps you made for the tutwell, it wasn't the same as those you made for the Sikiye, no, Sisizeb. Sisizeb never came on trap. Moisan, Gobek, Peng, Guive. Let's continue discussing the bird trap on the next episode of Calibishie Chronicle.